live this vividity as we are living it here, but we will make sure for you to at least understand or try to live it with us, half of it. So now we will start the session 4D, which is progress with charting forward progress with accountability. And as you are already used to, all the sessions are starting with a video, specially designed for the session. So charting the way forward for progress with accountability is our parallel session. Before starting, and I'm sorry that we are between you and the lunch, and this is the last session, but we promise that this is the most important, and it will be the most intriguing for you. Before starting, I just want to make two announcements. We have a Slido that I will ask my colleague to put it on the stage, on the screen. Please log in and start typing your questions. And of course, when you will see our distinguished delegates, you can address it to someone specifically or to all of us. And another request that I have, we will have one of the intervention in French language, so we ask you to prepare your headphones. So, being said this, we will proceed with not keep you. I don't want to keep you too long from the fantastic session that we will have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dorina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session. It is a great pleasure to be with you today. This is the final day of the WHO second Global Summit on Traditional Medicine, and you made it, so congratulations for that. This morning, if you are feeling inspired, slightly tired, and carrying already a lot of ideas, you are exactly where you need to be. It's usually on the final day that we ask the hardest questions, and our question today is not an easy one. We are asking, what progress do we commit to, and how do we hold ourselves accountable when we talk about the implementation of the WHO Traditional Medicine Strategy? My name is Hiba Bujna, and I serve as Head of International Cooperation and Partnerships at the Charité Competence Center for Traditional and Integrative Medicine, referred to as CCCTIM. Myself and my colleague Dorina from WHO will be hosting the session today. So the theme of our summit is restoring balance. Balance between science and practice, balance between innovation and tradition, balance between individual, society, and environment. But when we talk about balance, it's also very important to talk about accountability. Because without knowing what we are progressing on, and how we are progressing, and who is responsible for the progress, even the most well-intentioned strategies can only remain aspirational. And our strategy, the Global Traditional Medicine Strategy 2025-2034, is no exception to that. So I'd like to mention an event that we held earlier this year with our center in cooperation as well with WHO at the World Health Summit in Berlin. We held a dialogue on operationalizing the WHO Traditional Medicine Strategy, moving from commitments, from aspirations to national implementation. And that dialogue asked, centered around a fundamental question. How do we move from these ideas on the strategy to the implementation? And there we had a few key takeaways that surfaced. So first, as you all know, traditional medicine is already deeply embedded in people's lives, whereby most people have recourse to traditional medicine before allopathic medicine whenever they feel ill. Second, evidence exists, but it does remain fragmented and it does remain underfunded, whereby less than 1% of the global research funding reaches traditional medicine. And third, progress without accountability risks staying symbolic. That is why today's session built on that dialogue. And by the way, that session at the World Health Summit is available online and fully recorded. And we also had speakers in that session who are present in this global summit as well. So it really builds nicely together with this session. So while in the other session we named the gaps and the opportunities, it remained clear that we need to define progress, but also we need to discuss accountability. And going back to our strategy, we can already focus on our four strategic objectives that are evidence, regulation, integration, and collaboration. And these are the objectives that will shape our conversation today. So, we will try to explore today with our speakers what progress has actually been made so far, knowing that WHO had 3 strategies on traditional medicine so far since the early 2000s. Where are the accountability gaps and what are some concrete actions that we can undertake to progress? And to help us explore that, we have a wonderful panel, as you can see, of 8 speakers coming from different perspectives. And we have with us Professor Roshanak Godz, who is an associate professor at the School of Persian Medicine, Iran University of Medical Sciences, to my left. Then we had Lakasa Associ Minam, who is a traditional healer with over 40 years of practice and the coordinator of the Federations of Traditional Medicine of West African countries. Then we have Tanushri Jain, who is representing the WHO Youth Council as well as the International Pharmaceutical Students Federation, followed by Dr. Tabata Parker, who is a board member of the TCIH coalition, and we will tell you a lot about that. And then we have Ranjit Puranik, who is a trustee of the World Ayurveda Foundation. We have Professor Nelson Felice from the University of Campinas in Brazil, and Dr. Ezra Karabal Arda, who is head of the TCIM department at the Ministry of Health of Turkey. And finally, Dr. Elio Rossi, who is the director of the Tuscany Center of Integrative Medicine. We will start our conversation with evidence, because as you all know, evidence is the foundation, and without evidence, we can't even speak about accountability. And then we will continue the conversation with the other topics. And for evidence, without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Professor Roshanak to open the discussion and give us more insights on how evidence can set the stage for accountability. Professor Roshanak, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hiba. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I should mention that over past 2 decades, I have witnessed a clear evolution in evidence generation for traditional medicine. What was descriptive, small-scale studies has extended to large-scale national research program with increasing engagement of more universities and more public institutions. It's great a real progress. At the same time, we should aware that our evidence landscape still remains fragmented. Much evidence fails to reflect what happened in real clinical and community setting, where traditional medicine is actually practiced. Too often, research evidence is generated in a highly controlled environment that do not capture the complexity. And if you agree with me that evidence is essential to protect patients and guide policy, it must come closer to reality. That is why I think we have to shift toward pragmatic, real-world research approaches. When data reflects real practice, it becomes more reliable, useful, and more understandable for patients or for policymakers. This brings me directly into accountability. Accountability is very important in evidence generation because evidence must lead action. And when it shapes decisions on safety, regulation, and recognition, and integration. And without it, traditional medicine will remain vulnerable to unsafe practice, misuse, or loss of credibility. And a question arises here. How can we move forward? At first step, I think we need to have a stronger and more coherent data system. In this regard, national and regional registries can track outcomes and safety and over time. And also, ethical knowledge repositories are very important and essential to ensure that all cultural values are and community rights are respected. And second one is comparability. Tools such as ICD-11 and ICHI can help provide landscape or common language that allows data to be comparable, and to translate to policy. And the third one is new technology. Technology can support evidence generation, but we should aware that technology must not replace accountability, and it only must serve accountability. And fourth one is research centers, network research centers. For example, WHO-supported collaborating reference centers can play an important role in monitoring safety and effectiveness, and they can allow countries to learn from one another and also accelerate safe integration. And finally, I think if I just want to give you two concrete actions. I think we have to prioritize data documentation through shared structures such as ICD-11 and ICHI. And second one is to actively build or join to a network, research network, to focus on progress and accountability. And at the end, I should say that accountability is the engine of progress, so and it can provide us reliable evidence. Thank you so much for your kind consideration.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Professor Roshanak, for setting the stage for us by highlighting the importance of evidence, how it can be, how we can continue our progress, and how we can make sure that accountability mechanisms are there. And thank you for already starting with some concrete actions. I like that. Thank you very much. So we will continue with the same flow, and we will continue exploring progress from the lens of each of our speaker, but also with some concrete actions. That is good. So after we've explored this point,